Ahoy, hoy.
Hello.
Hi,
Oi,
Kai.
oi.
I thought we were going into the other one directly.
So did I. So,
All right.
welcome to Thursday Night Live. We're still
Where-
working
where-
on
I'm
some
confused.
format things for you guys. We're gonna have something for you here in just a couple seconds. Wanted to introduce the video though for those who are new to the Thursday Night Lives. My name's Steve.
I'm Pat.
I'm Brian.
I'm Raymond.
And we'll be talking with you guys tonight specifically on what people mean when they call themselves specific things. So essentially, if you're an energetic sensitive, what clairs that means you have, or you're a contact psychic, what clairs that means you have, and so on and so forth. So we're breaking down the common terms that you guys would actually hear. So, oh, I'm a this. It's not someone labeling and confining themselves. People really need to, loosen up a little bit on that.
It's not a box.
It's not a box. You're literally telling people what you do, not I'm conforming to a metaphysical society. Oh no, my edge is now dull.
Golden Dawn much?
Golden Dawn much. Fucking pull your thumb out your ass and calm the fuck down. You are just the same as anybody else. Easy. So we're going to be discussing that kind of stuff in a loose fashion, of course. If you guys would like to talk to us in person, you can come here at the shop, which is at 1016 East New Circle Road here in Lexington, Kentucky, Suite 114 and 112, the Missing Elements. Or you can come see us at some events, and we're gonna go get into that here in just a minute. But on to other things.
There's your cue.
Yeah. All right. So that was one of our advertisements that we've got rocking around. If you're interested in any of those decks, please do check them out on our website. They're a fantastic set of decks. We use them. Almost every single mechanic has at least one, if not two or more decks that are utilized out of what you just saw in the advert. So moving into where we're going to be and when. We're almost at the end of the month, and that means that we're going to be at Sacred Journey. So next week's going to be a fun week, y'all. On Wednesday, we're going to be live with the girls on their channel promoting the event.
Yep.
Then we're going to have Tarot Night Live on Thursday. So if you're interested in a free tarot reading, pop on in the comments. Stars will get you bumped to the top of the list and the chance for an all read. As always, the Tarot Night Lives are always free, but since stars are, I think, a penny each, it's technically a donation, and that's why you get bumped to the top of the list.
As far as where to find us Wednesday for that particular heinous live stream,
It's going to be wild.
because it's going to be chaos. It's going to be us plus Ascending Shadows. So Shelly and Stephanie are going to be on with us, and who knows who else. But we're all going to be on talking, making a mess of things and, getting into the groove of this coming weekend. But you can go to Triple Goddess Gifts here on Facebook, or you can go to Sacred Journey Market here on Facebook as well as YouTube.
And Sacred Journey think sacredjourneymarket.com is their actual website.
I think so, yeah.
So the last weekend of March, we're going to be in Eastgate, Ohio, which is just outside of Cincy. And that's going to be for Sacred Journey. That's a girls' event, and we are really excited for it. Several of our favorites are going to be there. We're going to be lucky enough to be hanging out with them. And I think that actually covers us for March since we're most of the way through the month. Just
We have a seminar.
we do have a seminar. So I believe Saturday at 1:00, Spirit Mechanics will be presenting a seminar on good attachments.
Yep.
So
Good and bad attachments. So we're going to be talking about the common ones as well as some of the symptoms or signs of good and bad attachments.
Mimi said you just jumped on right as we were talking about Sacred Journey. That's kind of funny.
You're welcome.
So,
We do what we're supposed to.
and howdy to everybody else that's popped on. Thanks for sharing us out. Thanks for saying hi.
Hi, Russell. Hi, Keith. Hi, me, Mandy. Hi, Melissa.
Yes.
So, and welcome, and
Howdy.
hey, and happy, and such.
And kind of just another quick reminder, next month is Paranormal Month for our lives. So Raymond and Dustin will be taking over because we have a paranormal class on the 26th of April, and that'll be at the Roz Opera House.
Yep.
You get a class, and then you get to investigate. It'll be an awesome time. Check it out. The link should be circulating around Facebook and should be pinned in the description of the videos. So if you're looking for it, it'll be there. Plus, it'll be circulating around our Facebook.
Yep. You can also go to spiritmechanics.com and look in the special events section, and you'll find it there.
Make sure you do not put the www dot in front of spiritmechanics.com. Otherwise, it does not work. I found that out.
It is literally just
Spiritmechanics.com. I spent about 45 minutes today going back through all of our old YouTube videos, fixing every link to make sure that it is the correct one.
So, if you're looking forward to that, come get your handshake, hug, high five. Those are all free. We'll be at Sacred Journey next weekend, and we're looking forward to it. I think that covers us for now. So, tonight's topic.
So, as I mentioned, tonight's topic is all about explaining your common terms for different psychics or sensitives. And this is just a breakdown of the clairs that they more than likely have. Because what makes your specific gift unique to you is your ability to access the clairs that you have the most potency in. So I think one of the best ways to go about this is to explain how each of us kind of works. And then, okay, this is what I call myself because this is how I work. That'll give you guys more of a layman idea of how it is that you can explain your own stuff. Or you can find out how it is that you work. So who wants to go first? All right.
Oh, come on. Get in on this.
Come on. Ready?
Wait, how are we doing this? 1, 2, 3, shoot.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
1, 2,
Okay.
3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Fuck! Best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Oh shit! What'd I do?
You just move the mouse. Just move it up. It's
Oh,
fine. It's okay.
Okay.
Just go. There you
We're,
go.
we're still good.
We're
solid.
safe. We're good.
safe. We're good.
It was on our screen only.
So, Brian, how do you work? How do you do things? What do you call yourself other than Brian?
I'm Brian, and I'm a spirit.
Hi, Brian.
And I'm a spirit.
All right,
mechanic.
Brian.
Let's see.
I'm so sorry for your loss. Anyway.
I am more of an. I'm trying to think of the right terminology because I don't really put myself into any category. I could see contact sensitive, a contact empath. Those are things that I can do.
Mhm.
So the way my gifts work is first, I sense the pressure of the energetic presence of a person, place, or thing. And then I'll allow things to move. So it goes into, if I'm trying to get the general gist of a location, I'll get visuals, I'll get sights and smells. If it's a person, it goes more into the empath end of it. What are they going through? So it goes more into clair empathy and clair sentience.
So
Sentient is the smell.
No,
Okay.
you know,
Well,
then
sentience is the smell. Sentience is more towards, and we'll get into this a little bit in a minute. It's more towards the physical mediumship.
Mhm.
So it is experiencing what it is that instead of having a physical reaction, you're experiencing their reaction.
yeah, it does do that. So I'll get what they're feeling, what their body feels like, what their emotional state feels like. And then the visuals come after. So their energy will look X, Y, or Z, or calm, chaotic, choppy.
So typically, at least as far as current terms, and they change all the time. So don't take these as gospel. They literally change all the time because it used to be different forms of psychic. And then it was different forms of medium.
Sensitive is the current word, right?
Sensitive is the current. It is slowly being edged out, and
I think we're going back to psychic.
we're going back to psychic. So it literally is a cyclical thing. You can use all of those terms to literally explain yourself, and anybody's going to fucking get it. But the current quote unquote right way to explain it is being a sensitive of some kind. So with Ryan's gift, literally what's happening is he experiences clairtangence first,
Mhm.
which is the physical feel of energy. You're not getting an emotion, you're not getting a experience at that point, you're feeling it, like picking up a pen or a pencil off of a table. You're literally feeling that pencil in your hand.
Mhm.
And then after that, it does move into clairsentience. Okay, now that I feel it, I know that it's there. And because I know that it's there, I can experience it. And then from there, he's able to gauge situations because he was able to feel it out. Now, most people are going to present with some kind of clairtangence. To have it as a primary gift is actually more rare than what you would think. So this is what we would typically refer to as an energetic sensitive. It's somebody that can come in and gauging by what it is that they can tangibly feel. They can literally tell you what's going on because they can actually grab a hold of it.
Okay, so I'm more of an energetic sensitive. There we go.
And then, of course, the clair empathy comes in with that because a lot of these gifts, and you're going to notice this going down the line, a lot of these gifts fucking meld together. You're eventually going to come down to a point to where you either wind up as clairsentient or you wind up as, a clairaudient or a clairvoyant or whatever it is based off of your initial response. What is it that you are actually connecting to? That's what's really important. So the energetic sensitive is able to gauge sensitivity through energetic field. So that's how this kind of stuff breaks down.
Do you want to go through a couple of comments first?
Yeah.
So, hi, I'm Jeff. I hang out with gnomes and dragons.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi. Clarification, I'm sensitive to gnomes and dragons.
Yeah, they give me allergies too.
I love that shit. Thank you, Dad.
Grass munchers. Take that how you should. Anyway.
And,
Pussy was. Anyway.
oh my God. So, we are 18 plus show. The banner is going currently. Just a freaking reminder.
Take my balls. It's an actual flower. You turds made it an 18 plus comment. So.
But April Kennedy asked, what would seeing the departed, touching objects, and seeing/feeling the history and being post-cognitive be all put together? What would the label for that be?
A contact sensitive or contact medium.
The contact medium.
Literally picking up these glasses, giving a very shitty dramatization, picking up these glasses.
Who?
I can tell that this person was X, Y, and Z and died in this particular capacity. And if I were to engage with that a little bit farther and put said glasses on or hold them a little tighter, I'm able to tell whether or not they're there or if they have any kind of message to give. That is a contact medium or sensitive, depending on what it is that you want to use, or psychic. It literally is the whole bit. You can do this with objects. You can do this with a touch of other people. You can do this with anything that you physically come in contact with. So it is a tangible thing. It's not an energetic presence. It's a tangible thing. That's what the contact is about. And that is usually clairsentience and claircognizance. So the ability to know. So it's literally the whole thing of, okay, I'm picking this up. I'm getting the experience from this person, from their specific tangible feel, their energy. They spend a lot of time with this object. So their emotions, their physical routine that they had with this object, the energy that they left behind, it all combines into the clairsentience. The claircognizance is the knowing. So this is exactly how they were, who they were, why they did things, the whole bit. The cool part is after that particular bit actually starts to kick in, some contact sensitives will actually move into other clairs after that. So you'll have the ones that are able to tell if they're still there and be able to hear messages or see them walk or, interact in some way. It all depends on how open you are and how well your protections are up. I do need to go ahead and say that for some reason, I need to let everybody know that testing out your clairs is an awesome fucking thing. It is amazing. It's great when it works. It's great when you allow it to work. Make sure you're in a safe space, or at least with people that can have your back if you're not. Don't do this shit just by yourself. You don't want to completely open up in a space that you're unaware of and you don't have anybody back you up at. Okay?
Remember, your boundaries are important, and so is the word no. Be forceful with your boundaries.
Next.
So one of the direct is, I believe, the word that I was using for a little bit. The way that I work specifically is I smell and taste everything first. Side note, kicking back to you for a second, Steve. April said you just explained me. It kind of does suck sometimes.
It does. It does.
So as far as the way that I work, it's smell and taste first. So if something's around, I will smell and taste it. If it's a specific person, usually it starts with a cologne or, a special lip gloss that they used, something specific like that. But everybody has a specific taste and smell. So both of those kick first for me. And then when I start investigating what's going on, that's when the clairvoyance, because that's the one where you can actually see things from the third perspective.
Yep.
That's what kicks for me after that. So I can see if something's there, or if it's, a little animal, if it's a person, if it's a different type of entity, or specifically what may or may not be going on with an individual based on that.
So in this, and it's really interesting, this one. So some people would refer to this as a type of energetic sensitive. This one's a little bit tricky though, because it combines clairsentience, as in scent, Ian,
The smell.
CE. So you're looking at the smell. And then clairgustance, which is the taste. Some people will actually refer to this as an energetic gourmand, which is literally a person who is into cuisine. They're able to pick food apart. They're able to gauge how it was created, what was put into it, how it was made. So that is actually one thing that you could do. It is a select group that actually has those particular abilities that usually pop before anything else. So you're not going to hear that particular term, a energetic gourmand. You're not going to really hear that floating around. A lot of people say a taste tester, someone that tastes the air, tastes the energy of the air. But typically, it is literally a subsect of being an energetic sensitive. It's another type. Because what actually winds up happening is it's a similar thing to what happens to Brian, only instead of the clairsentience that kicks with him, it's the clairsentience and gustance that kick with her. So hers builds in a different way than his do. Hers builds in a different way than his does, but it's the same principle. And just giving you guys an idea, both of them could be labeled as an energetic sensitive. How they work is different. And that's why it's important to be able to explain your clairs, to understand what it is that you do and how you work. Because anybody could be an energetic sensitive or a contact medium or, a physical sensitive or, different things, claircognizant. Anybody could be these things. Why does this work for you? Why are you calling yourself that? So that's what we're getting at. Anything else?
Depending on what's going on, I may or may not actually start feeling the things on my body myself. It truly depends on what's needed in each unique situation and each unique individual.
And there's the clairsentience.
Where I go from there, because sometimes it may not necessarily be a feel first, it may be a sound first, but I usually start to feel things on my body, at least is where somebody may be having shoulder pain, something weird like a pressure in your sinuses that has a specific smell too. But
And mine does the same. It'll go into that later stage of I need more information, and then the other clairs will pop.
Yep.
Then the smells will start to kick in, or different sounds. A music, a song, a specific song will play. So the clairaudience. So it works basically the same way. I need more information.
yeah,
I don't know enough based on this feel, this situation, and what's going on. I need more information.
Where she gets the information first and the sentience comes in to make sense of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they both work literally, by Brian's, acceptance there. They both work literally the same way. They could be labeled the same thing, but their clairs activate in different ways. His is the reverse of hers, but they both get the end result. It's pretty cool when you actually start to look at shit that way. What about you, Ray?
Mine's kind of weird. It's usually a smell or a sound first, or I'll feel the energetic pressure change. And I don't feel it the same way Brian does. I'll feel like a shift, almost like the pressure shift whenever the weather changes. So I'll notice that something's different, and you'll see me look. Okay, where's that coming from? And even like attachments, different health issues and stuff, I can usually catch that scent as to what somebody has going on before they even sit down to the table.
So question, does yours kick in scent and sound first? Or does it kick in on the pressure change?
It depends on the energy.
Okay, so different. So if it's like dialing the frequency. If
Yeah.
the frequency is too much of one or the other, it switches. Okay.
Okay.
And
So
then
looking
after
at-
that, the empathy starts to kick in whenever I'm working with somebody.
Okay. So looking at that, this is an interesting situation. So we have an energetic sensitive, which is what these two would be. We have contact sensitivity, which is what April Kennedy had mentioned in the comments there. Raymond is what is known as a physical sensitive. The clairsentience is actually first. Before anything else, the clairsentience kicks in. And then the other clairs go, here is how you physically need to accept this energy. It is a direct physical impression. It's an imprint of that energy on your senses that allows you to understand the situation in a very physical sense, as opposed to having to vibe it, having to feel it out, having to let the other clairs kick in. This is more instinctual. A physical sensitive is more towards the instinct end than the intuition end. Intuition comes in later to go, this is why you feel the way you do. So, literally, so far, we've got the three big ones that are actually already been being observed. So these two are energetic, Ray would be a physical, and then we have a contact sensitive in the comments. So it's really interesting if you start to look at the way that these work. The reason why is it's like what we were explaining to you guys when we were going over the definitions, and then we were explaining how to figure out what your clairs are last week. We had mentioned this a couple times, and that is your clairs are going to mirror your actual physical mundane experience. So the things that you would do in order to make it through day-to-day life are the way that your clairs are going to work when you're in a spiritual situation or a metaphysical situation. So with Brian, read the room. Literally. With her, with Pat, it's a read the room. Usually with her, it takes, that's, if you've worked with her, she uses breath work. Now you understand the reason why. It's not just to calm you down. As you breathe, she's able to taste the energetic signature. She's able to literally pick up what you're breathing out. And then with Ray, especially being in the healthcare industry as long as he has been, as well as a couple of key things that are unique to him, which are his business. If he wants to get into, he can. But because of those things, Ray has to be able to react. It has to be a reflex reaction. So the instinct has to take over. Someone's falling, someone needs me, someone's about to get hurt, something's going to fall. I need to be able to pick it up or catch it. There are specific things. I know that this client, this patient is not okay. Here's the reasons why. I can smell it on them now. I can hear it in their voice. I know that they're not going to be okay. I need to stay close to this one. So it's literally what it is that you go through on a day-to-day basis is how you actually function as a sensitive. People have a tendency to place clairs in a completely different fucking category. Like they are something separate from what it is that you do every damn day. They are not. Remember, for those of you that actually caught the first live stream of the month, clair in this particular sense just means clear, as in pristine, as in completely open, unadulterated. So usually, if you have specific clairs, those senses are actually hyper developed in you in a mundane way. Whether that is through specific experiences that you've had in life, genetics, or even things as far as self-preservation. That's how your clairs develop. It's also the reason why they constantly have the ability to shift. You're always going to have your dominant clair, the one that pops before anything else, because that's just who you are as an individual. But your life experiences, how you learn, how you're treated, what you do with all that, how you react, how you go about it, that changes where the rest of the clairs fall. So keep that in mind. Those that are clairaudient are going to be able to hear better than most people. It's not a spiritual thing, it's a physical thing first. Your clairs are literally just ESP. They're an extension of what you already have. This is a physical fact. It's literal science. So if you actually lean into those, you're able to pick up on things that the typical person can't. That's why it's called sensitivity. So going into that, I'm a clairaudient first. Before anything else, I'm a clairaudient. I hear it. And usually I hear everybody and everything as its own specific note. Not a full song, not a full chord, a note, a single pluck of a string or a single touch of a key. That's all it is. Now, a situation is different. If I'm looking into someone's chakra system, if I'm looking into someone who has a lot of things going on in their home, if I'm looking into someone who is asking me to work with somebody else, so someone that brings somebody to me and is like, hey, give them a reading, I'm taking them into account too because they're bringing them. That's when the cord hits. And when shit is discordant, when it's off, I know exactly. Okay, so this is what's going on. It's flat, that means these things. It's sharp, that means these things. It's a 7, that's an odd shift. So that means there's a massive change. It makes more sense to me if I can hear it as music. After that, then the clairvoyance kicks. So similar to day-to-day life, I echolocate a lot to be able to get around. That's why I talk a lot with my hands, among other special things, but it's one of the reasons why I talk with my hands a lot. It's also the reason why I talk a lot. It's so that I can hear the noise reverberate. So if I can hear it, I know where it is. And if I know where it is, I can fucking see it when I look that direction. It's the same way when it works to my advantage when I'm scoping out attachments, looking at someone's home, or talking to specific spirits that may need to be crossed, things like that. And then after that is where my clairtangence comes in. Well, now I can hear it, I can see it, and because I can hear it and see it, I know it's there, and I can reach out and grab a hold of it. Tangibly grab a hold of something and pull. And then after that is when the clairsentience kicks. Okay, this is what this is, why and how, and this is how it got here, this is why it's reacting the way it is, why they're reacting the way that they are, and I can gauge the situation. Because now I have a handle, literally, on what the energy that I'm feeling is. So technically, I would be another form of physical sensitive. Now, the cool thing is just because you have your primary quote unquote label, and notice how I'm putting that in air quotes. Now that you have your primary quote unquote label, it doesn't mean that you can't call yourself other shit. Your quote unquote label is just telling people how it is that you function. So when people walk up to you and they're like, so how do you work? How do you get things figured out? How do you feel things? Oh, well, I'm a this type of sensitive, so this, and this. Oh, neat. And then you can go into, and this is how I use it, which is your specific label. What it is that you would like to call yourself, how it is that you like to function. Because of the way that I work and the way that I see things and the way that I function, I'm a spiritual surgeon. If I can hear the problem, I can see the problem. And if I can see the problem, I can affect the problem. And if I affect the problem in the right way, then I know for a fact I have. If I'm going the wrong direction, I know for a fact I am. It's an easier way for me to pull attachments, to patch up things that need it, to help with blockages, different things like that. But because I'm a physical sensitive, I can also label myself as a spiritual surgeon, right? As far as other metaphysics is concerned, it's all skill set. You will lean towards the specific skill sets that actually rock your clairs the most. Alchemy is the one that I've chosen because it works the best with my clairs. Is alchemy what I do? Fuck no. Alchemy is what I do for y'all. Alchemy is not what I do in general. So, what about you, Brian? So what is it that you do?
I do a lot of things. I'm more of the Swiss Army knife. So whatever we need is what I can do in that moment. But so the metaphysical medicine man part works for me because I can affect that discordant chord that you were talking about by resonating with it and then changing mine to change it.
Mm-hmm.
Alchemy is probably the thing that I do the best as far as the energetic alchemy and changing things, because it's all vibration, because I can physically feel it. And if I can physically feel it, I can physically alter it.
Absolutely. You.
Flow work and cycling is what I do for most people. That's not what I do for myself more. I work with alchemy as well, but it's also more of the medicine work for myself. But I utilize flow work and cycling to help other people because if I can find it in the chakra system, I can flush it out. If I can smell it and taste it, it's gone after that. Or repaired in the way that it needs to be repaired.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Ray?
I mean, one of the main things that I do for other people is just the energetic healing.
Mm-hmm.
I can switch it up as needed, depending on the situation, but that is typically the main point. Like Brian said, with the vibrations and stuff, I can feel it when it shifts. It's not really a note, it's just a shift in the energy, and I can feel it whenever it levels back out. Compared to like when somebody's in pain, I can feel it when it eases.
So it's closer to a better way to think about it, like a healer, as opposed to, for me, the medicine work. I'm operating from this perspective of everything is one anyway. Yeah. So if I vibrate with it and then pull it with me, if that makes sense. It's like the tuning fork demonstration that the guy does, where you have the two tuning forks that are pitched the same, and you hit the one and the other one starts. That's how I work.
Through resonance work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And medicine work is one of those things that's really, it's something that a lot of people claim and very few can do. And the reason why I say that is not that people aren't capable, and it's not that they don't understand the principles of it. It's that they just don't have the knack for it. Because the big thing is certain clairs are required for certain skill sets like that. If your clairs aren't honed enough, if they're, if you don't tone that particular spiritual muscle, you're not going to have enough beef behind you to make it happen.
Yeah, when I first, just for example, when I first started, I was more like Pat in the way that she operated. And, well, I don't know if you want me to talk about that, where I cycled it through as opposed to cycling it here.
Yeah.
You cycle through, that was the way I started. That was the way that I because I didn't have the muscle to be able to do it. It's not my natural talent. It's the reason why we've said on these streams before, I have Psyvamp tendencies. I just didn't have the muscle to be able to project enough to be able to do it and affect it out here. I had to affect it here first. Now that I have that, I can affect it out here. If that makes any sense.
It does. So your medicine work is going to be a little bit different because of, the specific Psyvamp as well as other things that you have going on. So yours actually runs through the chakra system and then is presented out here.
Yep.
So it's a difference in how the muscle, quote unquote, works. Brian's shifted into what it is. So it's external medicine work. He's resonating with the flow itself out here. Whereas she brings the other person's flow into her, resonates with it, and then sends it back. So they're breath work.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, if people have watched, well, I haven't been to an event in for damn ever, but I'll just put my hands on a person, and what I'm doing is I'm doing it here.
Yep. And that goes along with that clairtangence, that ability to physically feel it. Okay, I got you. I know exactly where to go and what needs to happen because I'm here. But it's the presence of, we're moving towards, so we're feeling the aura out before we get to the person.
Mm-hmm.
The touch is the activation of the cycle. And then when we release, we're pulling the things that aren't necessary and refining them and giving them back again. So it's literally the same kind of skill set. It's just the result comes from different spaces. Both of them use medicine work, but it's the type of energetic sensitive that they are that makes the difference in how it functions. Hopefully, I'm not.
I think we're doing good.
Okay.
And like with Ray's, he is affecting the physical end of that, whereas we're affecting more of the energetic end of that.
Yeah, mine's a very direct
I'm
healing.
sorry.
Oh, I was just saying mine's a very direct kind of healing compared
Yeah.
to the cycling.
That's why I was going to say yours is more of the healer end of that work, as opposed to a medicine type of work.
Looking more towards what people refer to as natural Reiki
Mm-hmm.
at this particular point. That's what a lot of people refer to it as,
Mm-hmm.
is natural Reiki or quote unquote healing hands. You'll hear that a lot around, especially around our neck of the woods. You'll hear healing hands or laying of hands, things of that nature. That's kind of what it is it's the physical ability to direct energy in a very pinpoint way. It goes right here because I have a physical hold of it. As they react, so do I. And I'm able to mitigate, and I'm me, as far as, for the demonstration, I'm able to actually pinpoint where it is that they need it by the way they react. So Ray is able to move in perfect time with where pain is, with where illness is, with certain types of chronic pains. I won't say illnesses. That takes a little bit of a different approach, and that usually takes more than one person. But his approach is very interesting when it comes to those things. Once again, not a lot of people can do that bit, because usually people stop at instinct, and that's where they get fucked up. You don't want to run off instinct, because it's not how you feel about someone else's situation. It's about making sure that you're there in the situation with that person going through it.
Mhm.
So
Instinct is a reaction.
specifically, that's all it is. So have the reaction, let the intuition tell you why you did. That's how his gift works. Oh, well, they're hurting in their hip. That's cool. They're hurting in their hip. I'm going to stop the throb there, but I'm going to follow that. I bet if I place my hand here, they're going to jump. And usually when they do, and they do, usually when they do actually jump, when someone does that kind of thing, it's because they actually found the nerve cluster that's actually fucked up. Because newsflash for all y'all, where your pain is not where it starts. Your body's kind of dumb that way.
Woo!
And literally, and this is just science, I think it's cool, but it's actually a hint for you guys who do physical work, like Ray does, like I do. If it starts on the right side, you need to look at the left. If it starts on the left side, you need to look at the right. Because your brain does this thing of going, I don't know which one is which.
With one, the L.
We're going that way.
So your pain is actually mirrored. So don't just focus on the one side. More than likely, you need to find it. You need to trace it. Someone who has the physical sensitivity is able to trace it directly. It's right here. This is where you're feeling the pain. This is where you got this going. Do you have these kinds of issues? Do you have, this kind of, did you ever break this? Did you ever pull this? That kind of thing. Medical intuitives are usually mostly physical sensitives.
Catching up on a couple comments, if you don't mind scrolling down.
Yeah.
There's quite a few.
Mimi asked a question.
No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to.
If you go to comments on, up to the right. Thank you.
There it be.
Yes. So I just need you to scroll for a minute.
Here, take that.
Thank you.
Just-
Thank you.
Just do it.
Do it.
So Mimi asked, and this kind of loops back to a couple of the other lives, so it'll be good to just kind of briefly go back over it.
Mhm.
Question, can you explain, quote, seeing? I don't actually see it as a normal person would. It's more about vision when I close my eyes, sometimes when I'm meditating, sometimes when I lay down. As soon as I close my eyes, it bombards me. Never when in front of me.
So typically, and this is a misconception, right? It's a misconception that people have the ability to 100% see here. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't. What it means is that you don't have to close your eyes in order to use your third eye. But typically, clairvoyance, and that's what that is, usually clairvoyance comes from the third eye, the mind's eye. So while you're laying down to sleep, there's less inhibition, so you're going to see more. While you're sleeping, your dreams are going to pop more, especially if it's something that you needed to actually pay attention to before. If you're out in the open and you're rocking and everything, and you start to see things out of the corner of your eye, that's where it usually starts with most people. You start to see things out of the corners of your eye, or an overlay like heat waves, kind of like the Predator, the Predator cloak. You start to see things move like that. Basically, what's happening is your third eye is open enough to where you're able to perceive it on a higher level. You're able to see things that typically you wouldn't be able to. So that's 100% clairvoyance.
So saying hi to a couple other people.
Hi, Josh. How's
Hi,
the
Zoe.
babies?
Hi, Pam. So April, this is a question that I'm actually kind of excited to answer. She asked, would Cyvamps be pulling the bad and pushing out the good? My partners always tell me I thrive on events and group settings. Like I'm amped for days after. How would I be able to help people that way? Like take their and give back positive. So exactly the way you described it, Cyvamps, it's energy. It's not energy, it's emotions. Energy vampires do energy, but they're a counterbalance to pretty much everything. So if something's chaotic, they bring it back down to a baseline. Cyvamps, it's specific emotion. So if somebody's feeling very angry, a Cyvamp can take that energy in. I'm sorry, I keep saying energy. It's emotions. Because Cyvamps is emotions, energy vampires, which we kind of refer to as necroscopes, is energy. But with the emotion, you take it in and you can give them back something like peace. You should have to have that intention going in and not overeat. Cyvamps have a very easy way to kind of step over that threshold sometimes. So knowing your own limits and knowing when to stop and when to not pull versus when to not give, that's what's really important for a Cyvamp.
And it's a very easy thing. With Cyvamps, they have a very overactive clair empathy. And before anybody's like, that just sounds fucking, made up, it is an actual clair. Empathy in that fashion is actually a clair, because you are feeling with people, animals, plants, as opposed to for them, which is sympathy. And it is a directed. I'm going to tell everybody this before I continue. Your clairs, once again, and I've said this both other live streams, your clairs should never fucking be prompted. If someone is telling you what you should and shouldn't experience, they're in the wrong. Your clairs should never fucking be prompted. If people are going, you feel that this way too, right? You experience this thing too, right? That's kind of not a great thing, because what they're doing is they're leading you into an experience. The way that you work is unique to you, and you should focus on that first before paying attention to others. Now, as far as Cyvamps are concerned, clair empathy actually kicks first before any of the rest of their fucking clairs. It's actually amazing to watch, because it's like an animal catching scent of blood on the air. That one. And I mean, will literally straight direct to the most fucked up person, the most giddy person, the most pie in the sky person. The one that's over exaggerated in emotion is the one that they hone in on first, regardless of what is going on. It's both hilarious and terrifying all at the same time. Now, as far as an energetic sensitive, here's the neat part. And it is pretty neat to me. And that is, clairsentience does not hit them. Ever. The reason being is you experience what you experience by feeding. You get everything as it comes to you. So it's not an interaction with them. You are what you eat. So it is, it's a situation where usually clairsentience, so the ability to smell, or clairgustance, the ability to taste, pop first. before any fucking thing else. Usually for an energetic, it's actually clairgustance. So you taste it first. And then you catch the smell after that. Well, that tastes like this. Well, that's what that would smell like. And then it goes into quote unquote hunting mode as far as finding food. And it's, oh, that's where the scent is coming from. And usually you'll find that a lot of energetic vampires will actually do the whole thing of, you taste like this. I'm tasting this on the air. It's coming from you. Are you okay? Are you good? You know, who tastes like this? You know, it's that kind of a thing where it's literally on the tip of their tongue how things are functioning around them. And then after that is when the clairtangence comes in, because you are physically able to pull to you. It's like, yeah, that popcorn at the movie theater smells pretty fucking awesome. Can I have some? Take a bite. That apple on the tree looks pretty awesome. It's nice, ripe and red. Pluck, bite. That's literally how it works. The whole time you're experiencing the taste of that apple, the scent of that apple when you bite into it, when you pull it. But the whole time you're gripping it. It's really neat to watch, actually. Because when you can actually watch people's clairs pop and the order that they pop in, it's really fucking cool. Because then you can be like, hey, watch this. Check this person out as they work. This is going to happen, then this, then this, then this. And like clockwork, it'll happen every fucking time the same way. Everybody has a unique, there's the word, might be having that stroke I've been promising myself. But everybody has a unique signature of how it is that they function and perceive things.
Mm-hmm.
So you've heard us talk about energetic signatures before. This is getting into the nitty-gritty of what that is. An energetic signature is not just your particular wavelength, because other people have the ability to rock your wavelength. People like me and Brian can do that very quickly. Most of the time you feel you when you're around us. You're not feeling us. So it's that whole thing of what makes you different. Well, what gives you your actual signature is not just your wavelength, but how you get to that wavelength. The energy that you take in and the energy that you emit, how is it that you experience those things?
It's as unique as your upbringing.
It's amazing to watch.
Which kind of goes back into, I said it earlier, and I've said it a bunch of times on the lives. I have vamp tendencies. I can identify your signature, but I don't do it from that point of view. I'm doing it on feel, on physical feel. I've literally walked into a place, sat down, and go, okay, cool, this is awesome. And then that person, that energy is off. Or I know who that person is. Or, oh, I haven't seen you in forever. And it'd be 15 years. And I know exactly who that person is, what's going on in their life, blah, 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 blah.
I can taste it. They had a shitty day. This is why.
Mm-hmm. Oh, your signature's different. It's sort of the same, because up until this point, it is the same.
What's affecting it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what makes you you is always going to be the same. But what's affecting you and how you're handling it is what makes people notice. That's how you're able to be identified. You know, oh, well, it's just so-and-so, they're hanging out, as opposed to, yo, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
As Brian said, your signature's off. What's up? You know, it's kind of like anybody that comes to the booth, and I'll Say it again. I need to hear your voice so that I can remember you. It's that clairaudience thing. I recognize the note, but anybody can carry that note. What makes you different?
Mm-hmm.
I need to hear you talk. Oh, so you're this person. I worked with you the last time on this, and this, and how's this person in your life, and how's this going on? It's how I remember all of you. I have to hear you.
Meanwhile, like for me, I said it earlier, everybody has a specific taste.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyree is one of my favorite examples.
It's everybody's favorite example.
Sure is.
At one point, he had asked me because he was curious. Well, what do I taste like? I didn't miss a beat, and it was shitty 4th of July sparklers and jazz hands.
I was going to say pennies.
No. Shitty 4th of July sparklers, like the ones that go out and won't relight, and jazz hands.
Her actual definition.
Actual definition without missing a beat.
Oh my God.
That's still fucking priceless.
You smell like you taste like shitty fireworks and jazz hands.
Yeah.
Actually, shitty sparklers.
Yeah. Specifically the sparklers, because Roman candles have a different taste.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was like, the ones that you get at the dollar store that you blow like a buck on for an entire box of 100.
Yeah.
Oh, now Mandy's curious.
My budget's it's pretty stretched thin.
Oh,
God.
God.
But it's different. That's kind of where the clairs are different, you know. But Steve has to hear it. I have to taste it. Brian has to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Ray, honestly, has to smell it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
After going,
Skid 'em, boy, skid 'em.
Bloodhound does bloodhound things.
Hi.
Hello.
I don't know you, Liz.
Liz is a paranormal investigator from Scotland.
Oh, cool.
Hello,
She
hello.
is.
Damn, it's early.
Yeah. Why are you on here with us?
Thank
Or
you
late.
for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
The quick time conversion in my head. Damn, it's early.
Hopefully, you're having a cup of coffee while you're listening to us be idiots.
Goodness.
But and hopefully, you guys are getting something out of this. Breaking down how it is that we work might give you an idea, and us going over the clairs in the first live stream this month gives you an idea of what you could have going, and then building it like we were teaching you last week, or at least giving examples of, can help you understand your particular label. Now, again, for those that are coming in late, when we're talking about labels, we're not talking about pigeonholing yourself into some kind of conformist bullshit. What we're talking about is being able to explain who it is that you are and what it is that you do to those that don't understand. Labels make it easier for people to relate. It doesn't mean that you are, confining yourself. Lord goodness, come down off the soapbox. You don't deserve to be on it in the first place. Calm down. It's not that big a deal. Now, to go on about it and go, I'm only a this, is a little bit extreme. But you're supposed to be able to share your gift. And if people don't know what it is that you can do, you can't really share it properly, can you? That's what this is about. Okay? No need to be serious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an emotional support dog. Does that count?
I'm the token blind guy. Does that count?
I'm the other blind guy.
Does that count?
Sure.
Oh,
You done said hi, but I'm hi. I was on my account replying to Mandy. Mandy says, I'll probably taste like brownies and bad decisions. And I said, special brownies.
Special brownies.
Special.
18 plus brownies.
Mm-hmm. You buy those at a boutique. They have oregano in them.
Tomato
Oregano.
plants.
Mm-hmm.
Emergency
Yeah.
flask.
Emergency flask, activate.
Oh my goodness.
It's like you were talking about pigeonholing yourself into a specific set of things.
Mhm.
Sometimes it does. I'll catch a scent,
Yeah.
and it's not feel,
Yeah.
and scent goes first, and okay, then the other stuff starts to kick off. It's being open and allowing yourself to be open to something different,
Right.
more so than it is, well, I work like this. It has to go from A to B to C to D. Well, sometimes spirit doesn't work like that. Sometimes you don't work like that. Spirit with capital S doesn't work like that. You have to, all right, we have to go from C to B to A.
It depends on what it is that you're able to actually perceive at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something else. You know, your main clair is going to be the one that you actually typically focus on. Here's the thing though. If that particular clair is being clouded, or you're not willing to accept the information with that clair at that particular point in time, and you really need to know what the fuck is going on around you, there's going to be another clair that pops. How you work is how you work. Kind of like sometimes I shut myself, you know, as far as my clear audience, I put my boundary up and I'm like, nah, don't talk to me. I need a minute without hearing literally everybody. So after that, clairsentience and clairempathy kick in. This is exactly what this person is going through. And then after that, then the clairaudience comes in with the music. Okay, now I understand.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have your attention gotten. Sometimes the shiny thing is definitely fucking shiny, and you take a beeline towards it instead of going where you need to go, at least as far as your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, it's literally catching the attention.
What the fuck is that smell?
The fuck is that sound?
Why does it work like that?
But usually, you'll go back to your main clair, and then the others will filter in as they filter in.
Mm-hmm.
But in those knee-jerk responses where you're like, hey, I have no idea what the fuck is going on around me. Ooh.
Piece candy.
Piece candy. You know, that's,
And sometimes you just can't find the flea dip. So,
it's one of those situations where at the end of the day, you are a spiritual barometer, able to sense the pressures and able to predict what's going to happen as a result. How does it affect your body? How does it affect your energy? How does it affect your emotional state? How does it affect your mind? Compile that shit and you've got your clair. We're all lightning rods for what happens around us. Now, I am going to throw a fucking bit in there in literally knife hand. That is not a fucking excuse, period, to say that you can't function in society because you feel God and everything around you. That is not a justification for not doing things like actually going out and shopping for yourself for things that you need, being around friends and family, going to fucking work. Those are not excuses for that. Your clairs are not a justification for your agoraphobia. For those that don't know, that's a fear of crowds. It's not an excuse for you to sit down and not be some kind of social butterfly. Own it. You're an introvert. Cool. Don't use your gifts as an excuse. That's what gives literally every sensitive out there a shitty name.
It was like Scarefest this past year. I was having a moment. There's just too many people. I am an extroverted introvert. I'm extroverted in certain circumstances, not every circumstance. There's too many people, too much stuff going on. I need a minute. I'm taking a minute. It wasn't my gifts that were setting off. It wasn't though it felt like pressure. It did. But that was me. That wasn't my.
There's a difference in overstimulation
Mhm.
and thinking that it's your clairs hitting with everyone around you.
Yes.
Boundaries are a fucking thing. I love each and every one of you in a way that I know you will never understand. However, you cannot, and I'm going to say this with absolute certainty, you cannot feel every fucking living thing in the world.
You die.
You would absolutely fucking fry your brain. You cannot filter every thought in the world. It would fry your brain. You can't physically catch what's going on with everybody in the world. You would probably die of shock from the physical fucking pain. Please don't come to me and say any of that. I'm going to look at you until you say it right. Probably fast blinks, followed by slow blinks, followed by arm cross, followed by tilt of head. And then finally, so what's your actual fucking issue? I've taught literally for 20 years, and I do mean this. I've taught for literally 20 fucking years on what empathy actually is and how it actually works, how clairs function, how your metaphysical senses work. I've done this for 20 years, and I am tired of hearing motherfuckers just not being able to life and blaming it on their gifts.
Your gifts are beautiful. Overstimulation is a thing. This is part of why it's important to know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're doing what we're doing this month. If you understand how it is that you work, you're able to set up proper boundaries. When you're able to set up proper boundaries, you can take accountability for your actions and your reactions.
Mm-hmm.
You know who you are, how it is you cope, and how it is you don't. And you're able to make proper decisions as a result.
Don't try so hard.
Literally. Jeez, Jesus. It's only as difficult as you make it
It's
because
as easy as breathing.
I am working on a shirt design.
God, it's almost, man. It's almost like we've been saying that shit for
Years.
Years.
Literally 10 years.
Yeah.
Going on 11.
Yeah.
Almost 12, isn't it?
The amount of times. Oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. Cool. All right, let's ground. Let's ground.
Let's ground. Let's take a couple deep breaths. Let's talk shit out. Come on. Let's go outside, have a drag off a cigarette, whatever it is.
In the meantime, we both go overwhelmed.
It's okay.
Are they cool? No, they're triggered.
Yep. It'll be all right.
They're there.
They're there.
And
I get it.
please, literally, and please keep in mind that, when we're talking about these things, we're not trying to come from a space of emotional insensitivity or a lack of understanding or even a lack of caring. We are 100% compassionate for the fact that, people are struggling. Just be honest. Be honest about it. It's like people that say that they're so stressed out that their gifts just went away. And I'm like, that's impossible. Your gifts don't go away. Your ability to cope with them does.
Mhm.
Once you calm down, once you find the root of your stress, magically, quote unquote, your gifts suddenly come back. It's because the thing that was actually in the way is relieved or removed. Y'all have to understand that there is a difference between an actual emotional issue or psychiatric issue and your actual gift. There's a big, clear fucking dividing line there. One can affect the other, but they're two separate things.
And that also to say, we get overwhelmed too.
But God, that's why I'm taking the whole first week of April off.
Well, I mean, like, way too many noises, his brain goes to shit. Just being real. Way too many people, my brain goes to shit. All right, I have to have a minute. I'm going outside and getting away from everybody.
I mean, yeah, it gets so bad. Like, I'll even give you guys an example. We were in the middle of the Scarefest floor this last year, and it was fucking ridiculous. I mean, asses to elbows, and some people touching their own ass with their own elbow. Like, it was ridiculous. And I get separated. And because I can't hear, and there's so many people shoving me around, shoulder checking and everything else, I can't get my bearings. And I have to have other people get me back to the booth. Like, it was awful. I had to freeze and then catch somebody in a red shirt to be like, "Hey, I need to get back to my booth. Can I get a walk, please?" Like, but
we understand.
Yeah.
absolutely. It's just understanding that, right? Know your limits. Know your emotional limits, your emotional boundaries, what it is you can and can't take, your physical limits, your physical boundaries, what it is you can and can't take.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you can actually set up a spiritual understanding, i.e., shielding, direct boundaries, sigils, wards, different things like that to keep yourself sane, coping, able to function, able to let your clairs function. It's like I tell people all the time, and I've been talking about this a lot in the quick word and in the forecast because Venus is currently in retrograde. Right now, everybody on God's green is going to want to think emotionally. In situations where you're triggered, where you're overwhelmed, where you're hyperstimulated, you're going to be emotional because your body is in freak out mode. It goes into fight or flight. So the best thing to be able to do is think critically, think logically, take care of the mundane first. All right, am I having a panic attack or is something actually going on? Am I hyperstimulated or is there something else? Okay, am I stressed or am I catching something that isn't mine? Ask the questions about what's going on with you. You're the one that knows you best. If it comes down to where those answers aren't, yeah, it's on me. At that point, that's when you start looking at your clairs. Okay, so now that I can calm down because I know it's not my situation, let's see if I can figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's how this works. Right? You take care of you first. You take care of your mind first. You take care of your emotions first. You make sure you're safe first. And then you worry about what your gifts are doing.
Just like flying on an airplane. Put your thing on first and then help those around you.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best readers. I work with them in Spirit Mechanics. I've been, 100% blessed to learn from some of them and work next to some of them. But they'll look at somebody in the middle of a reading and go, I need to take a second. Give me about 30 seconds, take a breath. I have to disconnect for a minute, having a moment, not catching it, whatever it is. They're honest about it. Hey, I'll be right back. Give me just a minute. Come back and give a spot on reading. You have to be able to be honest. You have to be able to keep yourself in check, or at least understand why you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And then your clairs pop in such a way that they're undeniable. And the answers are 9 times out of 10 going to literally sweep the fucking board as far as being correct. Because when you are hyperstimulated or triggered or emotional, you're adding your opinion to a situation, your personal bias to it. Your personal anxieties get actually projected, and you wind up pressing upon somebody else or an entity or a situation something that was not there.
If anybody has been curious for the last 9 months, I think it's been 9 months,
8.
why I have not been doing any readings with them for the Tarot Night Lives, that is why. I could not separate the anxiety from a reading, and I'm like, I do not want to do that to somebody. I do not want to project my shit onto somebody else.
Things to watch for are projection and transference. We've talked a lot about that,
Mm-hmm.
respectively on our own talks and seminars and a lot here on these live streams. Projection is, it's your fucking fault. Everything is the world's fault. It's all out here,
Mm-hmm.
because of you, because of that. I'm justifying my shitty behavior or my shitty thoughts, or in some cases, my panic, my anxiety, my stress. It's all out here. It's all something else. It's all external. So it's a projection of how it is that you feel. You have to find something out here to blame for it.
Mm-hmm.
Transference is going, I have this problem that they have. I'm not going to work on it. So I need to fix them instead so that I feel as though I'm doing something. Transference is even nastier because you're literally seeing the flaws that you possess in other people and holding them accountable for your actions. So
Actually, it's transference more so for me than it is the other. So it's like, I can, all right, cool, and then pick you apart, and then, oh, I love you. That would do no good for anybody. Just sit there with a fillet knife and just fillet them open. I love you so much.
full Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Mandy said.
It puts the lotion on the skin, or else it gets the cards again.
shit.
Yeah.
Paper got into oblivion.
But
But wrapping things up. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna say I will be here next week. I think I'm ready.
Well,
Got this.
we'll see if it is the Titanic, or if we're going to be a Carnival cruise that just refuses to die.
God. So,
We're going down.
wrapping things up with a pretty bow, y'all, because we've been on here for an hour and a half almost.
Number one with a bullet.
A loaded God complex, cock it and pull it.
Dumpster fire rolling through the tunnel toward the train.
Woo!
So,
So, riding the nude on the way down.
pretty little bow. Know yourself, know how you work, because that'll actually be able to help you explain to other people. It gives you a chance to actually communicate, gives you a second to teach, and it gives you a second to learn. If you have any questions, please do reach out to us. We're always happy to talk about it. We actually have several classes that'll be coming up that revolve around these topics
Next quarter.
next quarter. So next week we do have Tarot Night Live. So if you're wanting a reading, they are completely free. Pop in the comments, let us know. Sounds like Brian will be here too, so that's an awesome comeback. If you send us stars, you'll get the chance for an all read. And hopefully we'll see you next week, guys.
Weird.
Steve.
So I'll be seeing you guys. It'll be a recording, but I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow for the forecast. And there's a lot that needs to be understood right now. Right now, there's a lot of things that people are afraid of. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of things out of our control that people wish were. There are a lot of dangerous things. There's a lot of awesome things that people don't know how to accept. And I'm not necessarily just talking about politics. Life is changing for everybody right now. And we're looking for places that are safe. Remember that regardless of what's happening, the people that you hold closest to you are not your enemy. They are your actual friends. Be careful of getting into a state of paranoia to the point where you shove everybody away. Right now is definitely not the fucking time for that. So, we're going to talk about that a little bit in the video tomorrow. And as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember that those that have the power to change themselves have the power to change the world around themselves. Love you guys.
Love y'all.
Love you all.